Hello students. In last video lecture, we have gone through different physical quantities and their dimensions. While going to these dimensions, we have analyzed there are physical quantities which can be categorized into 4 types. One is dimensional variable, second is dimensional constant, third is dimensionless variable, and fourth is dimensionless constant. That means we have 4 physical quantities. Dimensional, one is dimensional variable, second is dimensional constant, third is dimensionless variable, and dimensionless constant. So now we will go today, what are the uses of these dimensional equations, where we use them, what are their applications. Today we will discuss their uses. So the following are the uses of dimensional equations. We have following uses. First use is we can use dimensional equation to check the accuracy of a different physical equations or different physical relations. Once we get a physical relation, we can check its dimensions, whether its dimensions are uniform throughout, we say the equation is correct. So one use of this dimensional analysis is to check the accuracy of a physical relation. Second use is conversion of one system of units from other system. That means we can convert one system of units to another system of units by using this dimensional analysis. Third use is deduction of relationship among different physical quantities. We can deduce the relationship, we can derive a relationship among different physical quantities, and this is another use of the dimensional analysis. So the dimensional equations has different uses. There are mainly 3 uses. One use is checking the accuracy of different physical quantities. Second use is conversion of one system of units into the other system of units. Third is deduction of relationship among the different physical quantities. Now we will go one by one to understand how we can check the accuracy, how we can convert the one system of units to another system, and how we can derive the relationship among different physical quantities. Now we will discuss first use, that is checking the accuracy of a physical relation. So let us take an example. We take example of time period of a simple pendulum. We check its accuracy. We check whether its dimensions are equal on both sides. That means while using the principle of homogeneity. What the principle of homogeneity states? It states that the dimensions of a physical relation on both sides must be same on each term. Or we can say, we can add or subtract only those physical quantities which have the same units or same dimensions. And we can't add or subtract the physical quantities, the terms which have different units. Like we can not add 2 kg from 5 seconds because units are different, while we add 2 kg of mass to 3 kg of mass. Let us see how we check the accuracy. We have relation that which is T is equal to 2 pi under root of L by G, where L is dimensionless, where L is length of the string through which the bob is suspended, and G is acceleration due to gravity. Now we will check it dimensionally, the dimensions of LHS. Dimensions of LHS, that means time. These dimensions are, we can write T in this square brackets. Dimensions of RHS. RHS. So we have first, its dimension is, it is 2 pi. 2 pi is dimensionless. Dimensionless constant. It's a dimensionless constant. Dimensions of L, which is L, dimensions of G, which is equal to L T minus 2. So while going to this equation, we have T is equal to under root of L divided by L T minus 2. We have used here dimensions of L and dimensions of acceleration due to gravity, that comes equal to this. So these dimension of L and dimension of L, it will cancel. So we have left dimensions of T raised power 2. One, it is in denominator. When we take it into numerator, it becomes positive. So we can write it T 2, and instead of root, we can write 1 by 2. This 2 and 2 will cancel. So we will have T. So now dimensions of LHS is equal to dimensions of RHS. So we say the equation is dimensionally correct. That means the dimensions of time is equal to this. It is also dimension of time. So we say, while using the principle of homogeneity, we say that equation is dimensionally correct. So it is this way we can use to see whether the equation is correct or not. So we can write dimensions of LHS is equal to dimensions of RHS. So the equation is dimensionally correct. Now we will take a second example. Second example, we have equation of motion. Say S is equal to ut plus 1/2 of at square. This is equation of motion. So we can check whether this equation is dimensionally correct or not. So we follow it's as, let's name this first dimensions of LHS. LHS, that means left hand side, the dimensions of S. S is displacement or distance. So it is length. We can write its dimensions of length. Here u is initial velocity, t is time, and a is acceleration. So we can write dimensions of RHS. dimensions of our u, its velocity, its dimensions of L t minus 1. And 1 by 2 is dimensionless quantity. It is a dimensional constant and it has no dimensions. So dimensions of t, we can write it as dimensions of time. Dimensions of A, this acceleration is dimension of L t minus 2. So therefore equation first becomes, instead of S we write dimension, its dimension u L t minus 1 into t plus 1 by 2, it is dimensionless. Dimensions of A is L t minus 2 into t 2. So its dimensions, we can write it t and this t, it will go. We have L plus this t square and this t square inverse and this t square, it will go. We will left have L. So dimensions of LHS is equal to dimensions of RHS. That means in each term we have same dimensions, whether it is this term or this term, the dimensions are correct, the dimensions are uniform. So while applying the principle of homogeneity, we get the same dimensions in each term. So we can say the equation is dimensionally correct. So we can write dimensions of LHS is equal to dimensions of RHS. So implies equation is dimensionally correct. Equation is dimensionally correct. So this was the first use, how it is the way by which we can check the accuracy of the physical relation. Now we will take its second use, that means when we convert one system of units into other system. It is the second use and we will take some examples. Second use, it is conversion of one system of units into another system. So while dealing with this use, we know a physical quantity can be represented in two ways. That means a physical quantity can be expressed as the product of its numerical value and the unit which is associated with it. So we have gone through already to this. A physical quantity like x, it is equal to u into n or n into u. N stands the numerical value and u stands its unit. So when we have to convert a physical quantity from one system of units to another system of units, we must change these. When units change, the numerical value may also change. So how we can deal this? Let us consider a physical quantity. Example, x is equal to nu. That means we know a physical quantity x is a physical quantity. It can be expressed into numerical value and unit use. Now we have two systems of units. Let one system is whose basic physical quantities can be represented as m1, L1, T1, and its numerical value is n1. So we can, it is one system of units. Let its dimensions are its dimensions are A, B, C. It is one system of unit. So we can represent a physical quantity. So we can represent a physical quantity x as x is equal to m1 A L1 B T1 C, and here is numerical value n1. It is in one system. So the basic quantities are mass, length and time, and A, B, C are its dimensions. Now similarly in second unit system, let we have dimensions of mass, it is m2, dimension of length, it is L2, and dimension of time, it is T2. And N2 is the numerical value in it. Dimension of mass is m2, dimension of length is L2, and dimension of time is m2. And what is N2 is the numerical value. Numerical value. Therefore, we can represent the physical quantity as x is equal to N2 M2A L1 B L2B T2C. Let it is second, where A, B, C are its dimensions. Now, from first and second, we get what we get N2 M2 A L2 B T2 C is equal to N1 M1 A L1 B and T1 C. Therefore, we have N2 which is equal to N1 divided by M2 A L2 B T2 C. N2 is equal to N1 M1 divided by M2 A L1 divided by L2 whole raised power B T1 divided by T2 whole raised power C. This is the result which is used to convert one system of unit into other system of units. This is the main result. So M1 is the mass of a body, dimensions of mass of a body in one system of units, and M2 is the mass of the body in other system of units. L1 is length, dimension of length in one system of units. L2 is the dimension of length in other system of units. T1 is the time in one system of units, and T2 is the time in second system of units, where A, B, C are its dimensions. N1 is the numerical value in one system of units, and N2 is the numerical value in the other system of units. Let us take example. Convert 1 Newton into erg. Convert 1 Newton into erg. So example is, we have to convert 1 Newton of force into erg. You know, Newton is the SI unit of force, and erg is the SI unit of, erg is the CGS unit of force. So we have to go from SI to CGS. CGS means centimeter gram second. From कहाँ से जाना है? From SI, Standard International Unit. So here we have 1 Newton. 1 Newton is solution. Here N1 is equal to 1. Numerical value in one system of units is 1. Now we know force, the Newton is the unit of force. So we have to see the SI unit of the dimensional formula of force. Dimensional formula for force. Force. So force is equal to mass into acceleration. Mass into acceleration. So dimensions of mass and dimensions of acceleration come in the force. So we have F is equal to dimension of mass m, and dimension of acceleration is Lt minus 2. That means m1 L1 t minus 2 are the dimensional formula of force. Now let A, here A is equal to 1, B is equal to 1, C is equal to minus 2. Here A is equal to 1, B is equal to 1, and C is equal to minus 2. The value of A, B, C represent these powers. A 1, B minus B 1, and C is equal to minus 2. Now in SI system, now in SI, M1 is equal to 1 kg, L1 is equal to 1 meter, T1 is equal to 1 second. Similarly, we have CGS, centimeter gram second. M2 is equal to, it is represented, M, mass is represented in grams, 1 gram. L2, it is represented in centimeter, and time is represented in second. So this is basic quantities which we express it in SI and in CGS system. Now we will use these physical quantities in equation that we have already derived. The given equation is N2 is equal to N1 M1 divided by M2 whole raised power A, L1 divided by L2 whole raised power B, T1 divided by T2 whole raised power C. Now we have values N2 is equal to, N1 is 1, so we can write 1. M1, we can write 1 kg. Divide by M2, 1 gram. 4 raised power 1, A is 1. L1, which is 1 meter, divided by L2. L2 is 1 centimeter. 4 raised power 1. And we have T1. T1 is second by second. It is second divided by second. 4 raised power minus 2. So while converting them, we can write 1 multiply something is same. So we can write, we can convert the kg into gram. So which will come out 1000 gram divided by gram into 100 centimeter divided by centimeter into 1 second divided by 1 second. So while solving this equation, this gram and gram will cancel, the centimeter and centimeter will cancel, the second and second will go. We will have N2 is equal to, it is 1000 into 100, which is equal to 10 raised power 5. So N2 is equal to 10 raised power 5. So we can therefore write 1 Newton is equal to 10 raised power 5 erg. So in this way we can convert 1 Newton of force is equal to 10 raised power 5 erg. So here the numerical value changes. Here the numerical value is 1. Here the numerical value is 10 raised power 5. So once the unit is decreases, once the unit is smaller, so the numerical value increases. So in SI system, the numerical value is 1. In CGS system, the numerical value is 10 raised power 5. So it is equal, but the quantity is changed. But the quantity is changed, means numerical value increases and this unit decreases. We can have another, so we have converted 1 Newton is equal to 10 raised power 5. So we can say 1 erg is equal to 10 raised power minus 5 Newton. That is, we have converted 1 Newton is equal to 10 raised power 5 erg. So we can say 1 erg is equal to 10 raised power minus 5 Newton. We can also convert erg into Newton. So let's take another use. Conversion of joule into erg. That means we can convert joule into erg. We can again go SI to CGS. So we can convert 10 joule into erg. So joule is the SI unit of work, whereas erg is the SI unit of work, is the CGS unit of work. That means erg is the CGS unit of work and joule is SI unit of work. So we have to again go from SI to CGS. So how we can go, you know, the numerical value. Here numerical value in one system of units, N1 is equal to 10. So work is, so joule is the SI unit of work, so we can write dimensional formula of work. Dimensional formula for work, which is equal to force into displacement. Force into displacement. So So its dimensional formula is force, dimensional formula of force is M1 L1 T minus 2 into dimensional formula of displacement, its length, it is L. So we have M1 L2 T minus 2. This is the dimensional formula of work. From this formula we have here A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2 and C is equal to minus 2. Therefore, we can use here the formula N2. N2 is equal to 10 into 1000 gram, or you can say it is, you can write M1. M1 is 1 kg. 1 kg divided by 1 gram raised power 1 into 1 meter divided by 1 centimeter raised power 2 into 1 second divided by 1 second raised power minus 2. So now we have to go here from SI to CGS. So therefore we have to convert this kg meter into gram. So we can write here 10, you know, in 1 kg there are 1000 grams. So we can write 1000 gram divided by 1 gram raised power 1 into, and you know in 1 meter there are 100 centimeters. So you can write 100 centimeter divided by 1 centimeter. So 1 second divided by 1 second, it is equal to 1. So now we have here this gram and this gram will go, this centimeter and centimeter will go. We have left with 10 into 1000 into 100 square. So it will be equal to 10 into 1000 into 10 raised power 4. 10 raised power 4. So now it is equal to 10 raised power 8. So N2 is equal to 10 raised power 8. So now we can say that in 10 joule there is equal to 10 raised power 7 erg. So we can write 10 joule is equal to 10 raised power 8 erg. 10 joule is equal to 10 raised power 8 erg. That means the numerical value of joule is 10, whereas the numerical value of erg is 10 raised power 8. So the numerical value increases when this unit becomes smaller. So we can have also here, we can write 1 joule is equal to 10 raised power 8 divided by 10, which is equal to 10 raised power 7 erg. 10 raised power 7 erg. So we can write, so in short we can write 1 joule is equal to 10 raised power 7 erg. So this is how we can convert joule into erg, or we can convert 10 joule into 10 raised power 8 erg. Similar, and at the same time we can have 1 joule is equal to 10 raised power 7 erg. This is how we can convert the SI unit into CGS unit. This is the third use of this. Third use is reducing relationship. Reducing relationship. This is the third use. So how we can deduce? Let us take an example. Time period of a simple pendulum. Deduce. Example is deduce expression. time period of simple pendulum. You know the time period of simple pendulum. What the simple pendulum is? Simple pendulum is simply when we suspend a bob by means of an inextensible string and we displace it. The time taken to complete one oscillation is the time period of a pendulum. So, there are two quantities which are responsible to time period of a simple pendulum. One is mass, second is length of the string. Mass of the bob and length of the string. And third quantity is acceleration due to gravity. Three physical quantities on which the time period of a simple pendulum depends. One is length of the string through which the bob is suspended. Second is mass of the bob. And third is acceleration due to gravity. So while we can write time period T of a simple pendulum which is directly proportional to m mass of the bob, L length of the string, and third is acceleration due to gravity. We can have here T, we can change this proportionality sign to equality. We can write T is equal to K times M L G, where K is dimensionless constant. It is a dimensionless constant. So M, let its dimension is A, dimension of L is B, dimension of G is C. And name this name this expression as expression number, name this equation as equation number first. Now we will use the dimensions of RHS here. Here the dimension of mass, dimensions of RHS. Mass, its dimension is M. Dimension of length, its dimension is L. And dimension of G, its acceleration due to gravity. So it is LT minus 2. So therefore equation first becomes T is equal to K M raised power A L raised power B and L T minus 1, this C. Now here the dimensions of LHS, which is equal to, we can write M naught L naught T1, which have K M A L B L T minus 2 C. So which is equal to K M A L B plus C and T minus 2C. So while using the principle of homogeneity, we can equate the powers on both sides. We have A is equal to 0. B is equal to B plus C is equal to 0, and C is equal to, and minus 2C is equal to 1. Minus 2C is equal to 1, which implies C is equal to minus 1 by 2. B is equal to 1 by 2. Therefore, here when we substitute B is equal to minus C, and instead of C we can write minus 1 by 2, it becomes B is equal to 1 by 2. It becomes B is equal to 1 by 2. Therefore, equation first becomes, so equation first becomes T is equal to K M A raised power 0 L raised power 1 by 2 and G raised power minus 1 by 2. So we can write T is equal to K, anything raised power 0 is equal to 1. So instead of M raised power 0, we can write 1 here. And L raised power 2, 1 by 2, and this G raised power 1 by 2. We have make this G raised power 1 by 2 in down, that means we have written it in the denominator, so the minus sign becomes plus. So we can write, we have, it will equal to K times under root of L by G. So the value of K is found experimentally and its value is equal to 1. The value of K is equal to 2 pi. It is found experimentally. So therefore we can write the time period of simple pendulum is equal to T 2 pi under root of L by G, which is the time period of simple pendulum. So it is how we have derived the time period of a simple pendulum by using this dimensional analysis. Similarly, we can find the time period of an oscillation, of an oscillating body, which depends upon following factors, and we can find the expression for speed of a transverse wave or a longitudinal wave in a string or in a solid body or in a gas. That means mechanical wave, which is the combination of transverse wave and longitudinal wave. Transverse wave goes through strings and or solid body, so we can find its speed in a string or in a solid body, and similarly we can go for longitudinal wave in case of liquids or solids, and we see on what factor the speed depends, and we can use the dimensional analysis to derive the expression. So this is how we have discussed today the uses of dimensional analysis. We have gone through 3 uses. One use is checking the accuracy of a physical quantity, checking the accuracy of a physical relation. Second use was to convert one system of unit into other system of units, and we have taken the examples and you have seen how we go through different conversions. And third use is to derive the relation among different physical quantities. So we have gone through also the example. It was today's video